Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this DELL Inspiron 15 Gaming 7577. So all you're going to need is a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. We're going to go ahead and undo this screw. Alright, the screw actually stays in the cover, so there's a little washer underneath that holds it in place. If you don't have that washer, it's okay, and the screw comes out, just keep track of the screw, don't lose it. Right, once you get that screw up, it forms a gap here, and then you're going to just pull up just like that. So here you can see it's very easy. This thing has a lot of dust inside, so I'm going to clean it out real quick. But yeah, so there's a M.2 Pcie Nvme SSD, it looks like right here. There's also a slot for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive or SSD, 2 slots for RAM, and the 2 fans. Again, I'm going to clean this out, and then I'll get a closer look for you guys. All right, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I'm back, flipped it over, here you go, it's a lot cleaner now. I mean, there's still some stuff there, can't really get it all out, but anyways. So let's go over what we got in here. So there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive slot here. If you want to replace the hard drive, they actually show you here how you would take this out. But basically there's 4 screws here. Those are also PH1 or JAS1 screws. Alright, once you do that, you can lift this out. I don't see the screws to attach this to the hard drive. Let me actually take out one side here just so I can lift it up and see. But basically you would attach the hard drive into this caddy. Okay, just like this. This should just lift out. Oh, it's stuck in there. Okay, those rubber pieces, because they've been sitting so long, got stuck. But here you can see there's the hard drive connector here. Oh, I see. So they put the 4 screws hidden underneath here. So you would peel this tape off, and then you can actually get the screws from under here and then attach them to the hard drive on the sides. If you're not sure how to do that, I got a lot of videos showing that, but here you can see the screws just come out like that. So it's kind of nice. They store them there for you. All right, I'm going to put this back because we're not going to be using this. Okay, we're going to just stick those back. So this build is pretty nice. Even though they don't have a hard drive in here, they provide the bracket for you to mount it in there. Okay, so that's the hard drive. If you're wondering, so here it even says, please disconnect and remove battery before accessing the rest of the parts and devices. But if you know what you're doing, the only time you really need to remove the battery is if you're messing with the LCD LVDS connector, which is under here. After you disconnect the battery, which is here, to remove that, you would use your fingernails or whatever, plastic pry tools, and you kind of just wiggle this to pull it out. So just like that. And then you would open up the computer and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds. Since I'm not messing with any of that stuff, I'm going to just leave the battery in. So we're going to reconnect it. Anyways, you got the DC jack charge port connector here, I believe. So if for some reason the charge port's broken, you can actually test it by taking this out and plugging a new one in, but you will have to take the whole computer apart to replace the jack itself. I'm not going to be removing everything because the customer just wants me to upgrade the hard drive, and I need to do this quick, so we're just doing a quick overview. This one looks like the keyboard connector under there. It has a little flip latch, but there's also adhesive in the way. You will have to take out the battery. Battery's held in with a bunch of screws. Just take them out and then you can lift out the battery. Anyways, let's go over more of the connectors. This looks like keyboard backlight connector. And then these two, there's probably one is trackpad, one is probably like LEDs. I can't really see what's under, but again, I'm not taking everything out. You got the BIOS RTC or Cmos battery, whatever you want to call this, real-time clock battery. So if you wanted to reset the BIOS, you can pull this battery out, open the computer, press and hold the power button 15 seconds. You can also short the connectors with a piece of metal. But of course, you want to disconnect the main battery as well. All right, you got the wireless card here, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and remove the M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. So there's one screw here. All right, after you remove that screw, lift it up slightly like this, and then you can kind of wiggle and pull it back. And here you go, you got the SSD here. So we're gonna pull the SSD out. So it's attached with this thermal pad here. So we're just gonna separate the copper plate by holding it down and then pulling on the SSD. And you wanna do this slowly so that it can peel away. and hopefully you'll be able to reuse this thermal pad here. All right, so there you go. There's the SSD. All right, we're gonna get the replacement SSD now. And if you want, you can actually put the SSD in first, just like that. All right, and then this slots in under here, and then you just slowly drop it down and put that into place. So there you go. Get the screw, and we'll tighten that back in. So their SSD was bad. Depending on your case, if you're upgrading the SSD, you can actually clone your SSD to a new one before replacing it. Or if you don't really care and you just want to do a clean install, then you can basically insert the SSD like this with nothing on it, and then do a clean install with a USB bootable Windows installer. If you need help figuring out how to create a Windows USB installer, just post a comment in the comment section below and I will send you a link on how to do that. If you want to know also how to clone it, I have a link for that as well. Anyways, now all we gotta do is put the cover back on. So very simple. Oh, I forgot to show the RAM. Sorry about that. Pull these two tabs to the side here. All right, it's not much room here, but there we go. Once you do that, you can lift the RAM up slightly and then pull it back. And here you can see the RAM is PC4 2400T, so PC4 2400T. You can put any PC4 2400T RAM, 8 gig, 16 gig, whatever they have available. Since there's already an 8 gig stick, I would recommend putting another 8 gig stick just to even it out, and that should give you a slight performance boost. If you already have 2 sticks of RAM, then usually anything over 8 gigs for most people isn't really going to help much. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the cover back on. It's a little dirty under here, so I'm going to actually brush this off a little, and then we'll go ahead and put the cover on. All right. Okay, so there we go. It's a bit cleaner. Let's go ahead and put this cover back on. So you have to put it in at an angle here. Let me zoom out a bit more. Okay, so you put it in at this angle, and then you slowly lay it down, clipping these sides into place, just like this. All right, and there we go. And then we just put this one screw back in. Okay, and now I'm going to show how to install Windows on here. So I already have a bootable Windows USB installer. Okay, let's flip this over. There we go. Let's open this up. And then we're going to just put the USB installer into one of the empty USB ports here. All right, so when you turn your computer on, you want to press the F12 key. So just keep pressing F12 while it's booting up. Assuming it's booting up right now. Okay, yeah, I see the keyboard light on. So press F12. Right, then it'll say at the top, preparing one-time boot menu, and I'm going to boot from my USB installer, which is this UEFI SanDisk Cruiser Fit. Press enter, and then we'll get Windows 64-bit or 32-bit. I did a dual boot for my USB. Normally when people create it, it's just 64-bit, so you probably don't have to worry about the 32-bit option. It'll just automatically boot the 64-bit version of Windows 10. But anyways, once it goes through here, we're gonna just select the options. We're gonna go to the custom install and then make sure we're doing a clean install. So this is gonna pop up. Here you go. It shows English. You can change the language if you want. I just push tab 3 times to go to the next, so I don't have to use the mouse. And then it's on install now. I'll press enter. So it's gonna boot up. I do need to clean this as well. It's pretty dusty. So let me. Alright, so there we go. So it pops up here. I'm going to push space to accept the license terms and then press enter. Then I'm going to push the down arrow to go to custom install, press enter, and here you can see drive 0 unallocated 400, depending what SSD you have in there. There's a 500 gig SSD, but when it's formatted it shows that. So anyways, we'll press enter. Yeah, so I don't know why there's so much space missing. It's a 500 gig SSD, but yeah, it shows like 460 something. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Then you go through the install, just run the Windows updates a million times till all the drivers get installed. But hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computers. I don't actually own any of the video. Well, I did one or two with like devices I own, but pretty much all the other thousands of videos I made are customer computers. So I won't have this device by the time you see this video, so hopefully whatever's in the video will be useful enough. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Let's drop this.